I'm curious, anyone can answer this, or maybe all of you. It's widely accepted, or at least touted, that one of the mistakes we make in our educational system is we take in people from abroad, we educate them well, and we don't stamp their graduation diploma with a green card, something I personally think we should do, especially in STEM. Does anybody like to speak to that? I know it's a little off the subject, but.
Yeah, so this is my backyard, of course, as an educator, and I can tell you, at least anecdotally, that it's certainly a trend. More folks are returning home versus staying here. Part of it is they want to go home, so I think we can't necessarily affect that. They have opportunity now in places like China and India where they can build their own dreams and stay by their families. That said, certainly if you look at engineering, for example, 75% of PhDs are foreign-born, as you know. We need them here, and we could use them here. But I think beyond that, we could also perhaps take a page from what Israel has done. You know, in Israel, of course, they train their military to code, and as a result, Israel now is one of the technology powerhouses of the world, and all. Precisely, yeah. So I think it's a combination both of immigration reform on the one hand, and then developing our own talent here as well. But it's certainly something I'm in favor of, is developing the talent. So,
do you think, Mr. Goldman, you mentioned the market kind of has a way of resolving its own issues. Do you think that the popular term is moral consequences is thrown a lot? I'm not exactly tight on everybody means something different by it, but I think you know what I'm talking about in terms of business. What are the dangers of government getting involved, and how do you balance that?
Well, I do think inevitably, when the government gets involved, it's somehow going to be picking winners and losers, and winners and losers that the market won't necessarily agree with. And so what happens is you may see the government propping up something that isn't sustainable. I mean, from a business perspective. And so one of the things that's been nice about our business, 14 years is although sometimes it feels like I've been counting in dog years, it's a relatively long time to build something. So we've been growing, but each year we've been able to digest the growth, and as a result, we've had a lot of things that have failed, but the market has sort of proven it out. And whether you look at our housing markets, I mean, there's a lot of markets where the government was supporting them or directing them in a way that wasn't long-term sustainable. So from my perspective, the markets in general are the best judge of what's going to work.
And there must be some benefits to people having to fight through that, slog through that process.
Yeah.
Too. I mean, it's a filter in and of itself.
It is. It's a proving ground. There's no entrepreneur who, all of us, you get lucky breaks, but for every lucky break, there's a lot of ones that are, someone told me I was in the right place at the right time. I said, well, it took 14 years to get here. So there's not enough lucky breaks to keep any entrepreneur in business over 14 years.
Mr. Times, what's your failure rate?
Failure rate?
Go broke rate, whatever you want to. Doesn't work out.
That don't work out. To be honest with you, in Delaware, we have not tracked that. To be honest with you, I can say this, that anecdotally, that's all I can say. Those that have worked with our programs have done fairly well. I would say that's a difficult one to measure. Let me give you a good example. Over the past couple of years, we'll get a referral from a bank where an entrepreneur business is in trouble, and we've got to work to try to turn that business around as best we can. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. And so is it a failure? Another thing that's hard to measure is, especially in a startup situation, person comes through, we go through a training program, starting out in business. We work with them, and through our process, they self-select out and find out that, maybe I better not start this business. Mm-hmm. maybe I better not do it. Maybe I better save some more money. Maybe I better get some more experience. And they don't start it up. So you ask yourself the question, is that a success or is that a failure? In my eyes, I think it's a success. But, you know, that individual will never start a job, start a company. They'll never hire any employees at this particular point in time. All right? So a lot of times that's kind of hard for us to measure, to be honest with you.